watching, or welcome if you are new. My name is Bethany, or Budget Bethany, and welcome to this week's What's for Dinner video. And I believe that's probably the very first time that y'all have ever saw me say that face to face, because most of the time I do it over on a voiceover. So I hope y'all enjoyed it. Today's video is a What's for Dinner, of course, but it's kind of a special What's for Dinner because it is my family's favorite What's for Dinner. So I took a poll over on Instagram and asked how many of y'all would be interested in this type of video, and the majority of y'all said that you would be. So what I did is I went back to past What's for Dinners and I took some of my family's favorite dinners and I have compiled them all into one video today. There is going to be 6 dinners in this video, and I'm sure you'll find something you like, and if you do, drop me a comment down below, let me know what you like. And if you don't like anything you see in this video, just leave me some kind of emoji or just say hey, just whatever you want to say. Just leave me a comment because I love chatting with y'all in the comments. And if you do enjoy this video, I hope that you'll leave me a thumbs up and subscribe before you leave if you're not already, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you'll never miss any of my future uploads. And let's get on into this week's What's for Dinner video, y'all. All the ingredients that I needed, and I ran to Walmart and Piggly Wiggly and got those. But I know you'll need some chicken breast, so I'm going to season that up with my tried and true seasonings: some Slap Ya Mama, some onion powder, some garlic powder, and some of this Chicka Bam Bam chicken seasoning. You get your chicken all seasoned up, you're just going to drop that into a hot skillet with some olive oil. Then once your chicken is all cooked up, you'll need to cut it up or either shred it up. I like to cut mine up into little chunks just because I like to get a piece of chicken in each bite. I feel like when it's shredded up, you can't really get the full flavor or the full taste of the chicken. So I'm just going to cut mine up in chunks, but of course you do yours however you prefer. Alright, so for the assembly, you'll need to drop in 1 block of cream cheese into your baking dish. I'm going to use this circle baking dish just because I felt like it looked a little bit fancier. Then you'll need to pour in your elbow noodles around the cream cheese. I'm going to pour in 4 cups of milk. Then I'm going to cover all that with some shredded mozzarella cheese. And then I'm going to take my buffalo sauce and drizzle it right down the middle on the top of the cream cheese. Just pop that in your 350 degrees preheated oven for about 50 minutes, and this is how it will look once it comes out of the oven. Then you can just top with your chicken, whether it's shredded or cubed, and then you just kind of mix that all up in there together.
I don't think we got enough time to sort out all the fights, to sort out all the lies. Oh baby, yeah. There was a part of me that knew that, and still I'm caught by surprise. I thought you'd always be mine.
And then here's how mine looked once it was all mixed up together. I did top mine with a little bit of parsley just to give it a pop of green. But y'all, this dinner was so good. Something that I come up with and throw together that I had glimpsed at for just a second. And I don't know if I recreated the exact recipe, but if this was the exact recipe, this thing was yummy.
And I thought, it's time I'm letting you go. This time I know it for sure. I just thought I should let you know. Yeah, now, no words no more, no. I got so high on a low.
I was walking through Walmart just looking at the kind of meats, because usually I don't look at the meats at Walmart. I get my meats from Piggly Wiggly, but I seen this steak taco meat and I was like, I'm going to give that a try. So I cut up a red and green bell pepper. I'm adding some olive oil to my pan. Then I'm going to get my meat and I'm going to add that in there, and we're going to season that meat up, and then I'll add in my bell peppers. So here is the meat, in case you were wondering. It's carne picada. I was kind of iffy about saying it because I know I probably didn't say it right, but y'all seen what it looked like. So I'm just going to dump that in the pan with the olive oil, and then we're going to get that cooked down. And once it gets almost cooked down, I'll add in my bell peppers. I add lots of seasoning, so I'm adding in some taco seasoning. I'm adding some paprika, some garlic powder, some tahini, and a little bit of slap your mama.
Even if you tried, you wouldn't understand it. Maybe something's missing inside of you. Just a bit of sugar to that horrid bitter. Maybe you taste different. Hold up, baby. I can sit beside you while you're going on about your simple life. Nothing left you thinking that maybe you're not different.
I hope that y'all are following along, because I know it's kind of hard to follow along because this is all coming out of my head, but I'm adding some lime juice right here, and then we'll add in our bell peppers next. But I wanted to insert this little clip right here because Jackson was up there making fun of me and didn't know my camera was rolling while he's eating his donut, y'all. So I got a good old laugh out of that, and I hope that y'all did too.
Guess it never hit you. Our conversation takes two, paying it some interest from time to time. Inside all that greatness and all of your adventure, you're all alone.
Alright, y'all, so now we're going to add the best part to me. I love cheese, y'all, so I'm going to add a very generous amount of this queso white cheese that you can get from Walmart. I'm going to let that kind of melt down. I wish I had a lid for my cast iron skillet pan, but I don't. So anyway, it melted down just fine with no problem, but it would be a lot nicer if I did have a lid for it. But here it is once it was all melted down, y'all. This was so delicious. I cannot tell y'all enough how good this was. I'm so glad that I seen that meat and it just hit me with a good idea of something to try, because it turned out really good. And I always like trying new things because I really get tired of eating the same old stuff, y'all. So that's why I also enjoy making these What's for Dinner videos, because I'm sure y'all get lost of what to cook. I also made some of this cheesy Mexican rice from the old El Paso brand, and that was dinner for this night, y'all.
With his humble lack and everlasting ego, someone hurt your feelings not that long ago, and every bit of you couldn't face the truth.
And on the next night, I made some tater tot casserole, and I know I've shared that or this recipe many times over here on my channel, but y'all, this is my family's favorite dinner. It's actually my husband's favorite dinner of all time. So all I do is just brown up some ground beef, and I added in 2 cans of cream of mushroom. Then you just mix in them 2 cans of cream of mushroom really well into your ground beef. Then you're going to top with some sliced cheddar cheese, and then you'll top with some tater tots. You'll pop that in the oven and let that bake on 350 for about 45 minutes, or just until, you know, your tater tots are done, because everything else is basically done. You just want to melt your cheese and make sure your tater tots is done. And also on this night, and I don't always do this, but I sprinkled some seasoning on top of my tater tots. It just gives it a little bit more flavor, but you don't have to do that. It's still good without it. Alright, so here's how it should look once it comes out of the oven, y'all. Alright, so of course to start with I'm just filling my cast iron pan or skillet up with some oil, and I've just got vegetable oil, but you can use whatever kind of oil you prefer, and I'm going to heat that up. While my oil is heating up, I'm going to season up my chicken. So I always tell y'all to use whatever kind of seasonings that you like, but here's what I'm using: some Morton season oil, some Tony's Creole season, I'm not going to say that last name because I'll just murder it, and some garlic salt. So I'm going to sprinkle all that on my chicken, and then we'll get to flouring it. And to flour my chicken, I like to add my flour into a Ziploc bag and then just add my chicken legs in there. It just keeps the flour from getting all over my kitchen, because y'all know I am kind of messy when I'm cooking, so that helps me contain the mess. You do want to make sure that you get your chicken coated really well with your flour. So once you get it coated, you're going to add it into your grease. And to check my grease, I always sprinkle a little bit of flour, and if it bubbles up, then your grease is hot enough to add your chicken into. So I'm just adding my chicken legs in there one by one and being really easy, not to splash any grease anywhere. Alright y'all, so it's really hard to find fresh greens right now, so I got these canned greens. They are Glory, and it says Southern Taste with the Soulful Heritage. They are mustard greens. That is our favorite kind of green. So I'm just pouring mine in the can into the pot, and then I'm just going to let it cook on low. I just followed the directions on the back of the can. I basically just let it cook on low until everything else was done. Alright, so moving right along to the semi-homemade macaroni and cheese. And I know I've shared it before on my channel, but I've got a lot of new subscribers. So hey y'all, and welcome. I'm so glad you chose to join in on my YouTube family. But anyway, to start with, you'll just make your macaroni and cheese normal. It's just boxed macaroni and cheese. You boil your noodles, and when your noodles are done, you drain the water off and you add in your cheese sauce. So I just mix all that up, and then I poured it into my baking dish. Then you'll add in 2 beaten eggs and 2 cups of milk. I just got whole milk. I guess you could use maybe canned milk. I don't know, y'all. Wouldn't try it. I've always just used whole milk. And then you just top with some more shredded cheese and put that in the oven, and you bake that on 400 degrees for 15 to 20 minutes. I didn't have quite enough of the mild shredded cheddar cheese, so I just used some of the shredded Fiesta blend cheese, and it still turned out just as good, y'all. And here is my delicious fried chicken, y'all. I really outdid myself this time. It was like fried to perfection. I could not fry it any better. It was so delicious. And then there is my cornbread, and I just used the Jiffy corn muffin mix. And then here is my greens. They're just kind of simmering there. And then here is our semi-homemade macaroni and cheese. I love the golden crisp edges on the top. I wish I could have got a little bit more, but I was scared I was going to burn it, y'all, so I took it on out. But it's time to fix our plate, so y'all go get y'all a plate and let's eat some dinner. Alright, so up next we're going to be making shrimp alfredo with just some Texas toast. So to begin with, you'll need some shrimp, and I'm going to use 2 of these extra small already cooked shrimp that you get at Walmart. They're like $5 for a bag. I got a box of fettuccine noodles and some cream cheese, and I got the Philadelphia kind just because it was on sale at Piggly Wiggly and it's the best, so why not? And I think I got it for like 1 penny. You'll need some heavy whipping cream and some shredded Parmesan cheese. I've always heard that if you shred it yourself it's better, but y'all, that was pretty good right there. Then I got some butter, and I won't need the whole stick, some chicken broth, and some garlic salt for seasoning. And then I just got the Great Value Texas toast. It's our favorite. It's really good. You can also get some at the Dollar Tree that's really good, but we're going to use that today because I didn't want to go to Dollar Tree. To start with, you'll just melt you some butter in your pan, and I'm adding some olive oil into my water that's coming to a boil over there to add my fettuccine noodles into. Once my butter melts, I'm going to add my shrimp in there. My shrimp were frozen, but it still worked out. It just took a little bit longer to cook. And I suppose this part's optional. You don't have to add seasonings to your shrimp, but I do because I love all the flavors. Of course, I'm going to show you what I'm adding to mine, but I always tell you to add whatever kind of seasonings that you like. So now that my water is boiling, I'm just going to crack in my fettuccine noodles, and I do it just like I do my spaghetti noodles. I break them in half. Do you break your noodles in half, or do you cook them whole? I feel like it adds more, like you have more noodles if you break them in half instead of just leaving them whole. Now I'm just going to scoop my shrimp out of my pan and leave all the juices in the pan, and I'm going to start making my alfredo sauce in there. And to start with, I'm just going to sprinkle in a little bit of garlic salt just for flavor because I did not have any fresh garlic on hand, so I used garlic salt. And then I'm going to add in my Parmesan cheese. It was already shredded, so I didn't have to shred mine. It's the Frigo kind. I think I said that right. Then I'm going to add in some heavy whipping cream, and y'all know I don't measure, so I'm just pouring in to my heart's content. And then I'm just going to cut up my cream cheese in there. I just felt like it would melt better than just tossing the whole block of cream cheese up there. Then I'm just going to stir that around and let the cream cheese melt and the Parmesan cheese melt and all the flavors come together. I'm also going to let that simmer on low for about 5 minutes before I add in my shrimp and my noodles, or my fettuccines. Alright, so once my alfredo sauce got through simmering, I realized that the pan was not big enough for everything. So I poured it into a bigger pot, and then I'm just adding in my fettuccine noodles and my shrimp. I'm going to mix that up really well and let those mingle and combine. And then I'm going to kind of let that simmer for 1 to 2 minutes. And then I'm going to add in just a little bit of basil just for color, and just it gives it a little bit more flavor to me, but I just wanted a little bit of green popping in there, and that was it. And then, as I said earlier, we just had some of this Great Value garlic Texas toast to go with our chicken alfredo, and voila, it was done just that fast. And then here's my plate all plated up. I did sprinkle a little bit more of the basil on top of mine just to make it look pretty and fancy and everything for y'all. For the next night, I made this Mexican casserole, and I got this recipe from my kid's bus driver, y'all, and this is my new favorite casserole. So all I did was brown up 1 pound of ground beef, and I cooked this 1 packet of yellow rice by the directions on the back of the package. Of course, I added in some onion powder just because my family does not care for like fresh onions, so I'm going to use onion powder, but of course you could cut in some onions and cook that with your ground beef. once your ground beef got through browning up and your rice was cooked and done and soft and everything like that, you're going to add all these ingredients into a bowl. You're going to need a can of Mexicorn, a can of cream of chicken, 1 cup of sour cream, and then of course your rice and your ground beef. You will use some of that shredded cheddar cheese, but you're going to add that to the top of it. You're not going to be mixing that in with the rest of these ingredients. So I'm just adding them all to the bowl and we're going to mix them up. So then you'll want to transfer all those ingredients into your baking dish. I'm using my Pioneer Woman and it's a 9x13 and it turned out really well with that size.
Need someone to save me, no, and don't come running to blame me. From miles away I can tell that something's off. The way you look and how you pause when you talk, I think I said enough. You said you love me.
Then we're going to pop that bad boy in the oven on 350 for about 20 minutes.
This is something you would never do. Here we are in your car. Let me see who you are, who you really are.
After your 20 minutes are up, you want to take it out and add your cheese to the top, your shredded cheddar cheese.
'Cause if you're gonna leave me, then just do it. Don't take it slow, don't be gentle. No, I just gotta know if you're gonna leave me, then just do it.
So y'all don't have to do this, but I just added some of that provolone and mozzarella cheese just to break up all the yellowness. And then I just put that back in the oven for 10 more minutes until my cheese was good and melted.
Let's be honest for a second. Yeah, you're being over your head, babe. 'Cause there is no one other than me that can make you feel the way you feel when I hold you.
I know that wouldn't be in true Bethany fashion if I didn't make a little bit of mess when I was plating up my dish right here, but you have to drizzle on some of this Valentina Mexican hot sauce. The Valentina hot sauce just sets this dish off, y'all, and it was so good. Alright, y'all, that's it for this week's What's for Dinner video. I hope that you all enjoyed it, and if you did, I hope that you'll hit that thumbs up button because it just helps me out so very much. And if you're not already, I hope that you'll subscribe and as well hit the notification bell so that you'll never miss any of my future uploads. Thank you all so much for watching today, and I will catch you all in the very next one. Bye, y'all.